Hello there, people all the world out there on the streets. This is One Time Play here, back at it again with another video. And today, can we get a rip for the Naruto run though on the comments? It's gone but never forgotten, man. And we're gonna discuss today everything you need to know about Pathfinder's buff, because it can seem a little complicated. Not gonna lie to you, it can definitely seem a bit. What are you saying? So we're gonna break it down real quick so that everyone can essentially get an idea of what they're getting themselves into if you decide to pick up Pathfinder once again. So let's get to it.
Speaking of which, our very final update is Pathfinder, who semi-recently had a pretty large nerf to his tactical. We increased the cooldown from 15 to 35 seconds, which we heard you Pathfinder mains. That was very, very frustrating. You feel like you can barely ever grapple anymore. And Pathfinder is a very similar situation. So I was a little bit reductive earlier. It's not just Wraith up here. It's like Wraith up here, Pathfinder here, then everybody else in the group down there. So those two have historically been very powerful in our game. For Pathfinder, we saw a very similar thing with the 15 to 35 second grapple change, where he did drop down meaningfully in pick rate and win rate. And over the course of, I think it's 5 or 6 weeks, basically came up to exactly where he was before, which tells us that that change did not hit its goal. We don't want to just revert back to the 15-second change, because we do think that there are other things that are important about that change that are good for the game. But we saw a suggestion on Reddit, actually, that we liked quite a lot, which is to make the cooldown of Pathfinder's grapple scale with how much distance he actually traveled. So if you get the super long slingshot around the lamppost downhill slide, yes, you're still gonna have a 35-second cooldown. But if you are bad like me and just face plant into a wall, or if you are maybe very, very smart and you find those valuable short distance grapples, you can now have as short as a 10-second cooldown. Smooth. You can actually see it as you grapple. The cooldown, you could literally visually see an element go down and the cooldown tick up as you're traveling. But most of the time, yeah, you will have a variable cooldown somewhere, realistically speaking, in the 15 to 28, 30-second range. That seems to be what I usually get in playtests now.
Okay, so I think that was pretty straightforward. Depending on the distance you travel with the grapple, so aka if you're good with Pathfinder, you're gonna get the 35-second cooldown regardless. Now, what he meant by like those little close or small grapples are those like the ones that you use on the floor and jump just to get height on an enemy when you in close quarters. I believe that there might be a little way somehow to be able to exploit this by not actually landing the grapple, but simply landing on the wall. Which I mean, I think you could really go and do that if that's what you wanted to. The reason I'm saying that is due to being able to grapple really far distances and just missing the landing by literally landing on the wall. Or a tree or something instead of the ground. I believe that as long as you land something other than the ground, you might be able to get the 10-second cooldown, which is the lowest he could go to, which is not how he started. I believe he started with 8 seconds cooldown when he first was released, which, I mean, you can imagine that was mayhem. So I think that's pretty much all there's to it. Depending on the distance you travel, either from up, down, from the high ground, from the low ground to the high ground, or from the floor forward. Any distance you travel, as long as you land it, as long as you land the grapple, the cooldown is in relation to the distance you travel. And like he said, the majority of people will get 15 to 15 to like maybe 25-second cooldown for the most part, even 30 for a lot of people. Especially the good players are always gonna have to deal with 35 cooldown no matter what. So if you thought that maybe this was the revival Pathfinder, I don't think so. Maybe next time. But yeah, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching this. I just wanted to do a little recap, a little breakdown on how the abilities are gonna work. I was a little confused. I didn't understand what was going on or how the distance was added up, but I think that as long as you land that and you travel a good chunk of distance, which you'll see a charge on the bottom as it's like leveling up, then as long as you on the bottom, you should be able to see how much of a cooldown you're gaining as you are grappling away. So yeah, I would say that maybe keep an eye on that, but then there isn't really much you can do if you really want to go grapple. So yeah. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video if you made it this far, and if you like videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on everything Apex. This is your boy One Time signing out. Peace.